What's going on, guys? This video is going to be all about calorie counting versus macro tracking and all that stuff. There's been a lot of confusion about tracking macros and tracking calories, if there's any difference or if they're the same thing. So I kind of wanted to break that down and give you guys a better understanding of exactly why I encourage people to track their macros. First of all, I think the most confusing thing is that people think that tracking macros is not like tracking calories. Here's the biggest difference. So everything that we eat throughout the day has calories. So when you track this, whether it's like a tracking app like MyFitnessPal, which is what I recommend and what I personally use, or whether you're writing it on paper if you're prehistoric, all the foods that we eat throughout the day ends up being our total calorie intake. So I like to compare this to a car. So basically you've got a gas tank, and the fuel that you put in it is going to represent the food that we put in our bodies, or the fuel that we put into our bodies. And your body is the gas tank. So each day we eat foods, which adds fuel to our gas tank. And basically everything that we do throughout the day is the gas that we use from that tank. So at the end of the day, if there's any fuel left in the tank, then that's going to carry over into the next day. And then you add more fuel into it. And then you can imagine what happens. When you add too much fuel to your tank and you're not using all that fuel each day, then eventually fuel is just going to spill out of your tank, and that's how we gain weight. The only reason I don't like this reference is because we technically want to be in a calorie deficit, or burning more calories a day than we are taking in. When you think about how it relates to a car, then that means that theoretically you would run out of gas, which we never really want. But it's good, I guess, for dieting. But anyways, you get my point. At the end of the day, all these calories that we're putting into our body, if you're wanting to lose weight, then you want to make sure that you're burning more calories throughout the day than you are taking in. A little side note here, this doesn't mean that if you go and eat 2,000 calories, then you've got to go to the gym and burn off 2,100 calories. Because our bodies just use calories just sitting here. Me sitting here doing this video is actually burning calories for me. That's why it's really important to have an educated person come up with an estimation of what your total daily calorie expenditure would be, or basically the calories that we use in a day. Basically, if we can find your average calorie use every single day, then from there we either increase the calories if you're wanting to gain weight, or decrease the calories if you're wanting to lose weight. So now it's time to explain kind of how this whole system works. So basically, up at the top of the pyramid you have calories, which is broken up into macronutrients, or macros, which consist of fats, carbs, and protein. So if you've read the nutrition label on anything, you see the total amount of fat, the total amount of carbs, and the total amount of protein on the nutrition facts. So basically each gram of fat consists of 9 calories, and each gram of carbs or proteins consists of 4 calories. So let's just say that you have 25 grams of carbs. Multiply that by 4, because there's 4 calories in each gram of carbs. So something with 25 carbs would be 100 calories. So just the simple fact that 1 gram of fat has 9 calories, more than double what carbs or protein do, that's kind of what makes the nutrition labels kind of hard to read. Because if something has, let's say, 10 grams of fat, that's 90 calories. But 10 grams of carbs is 40 calories. So it's really important to understand where these calories are coming from. So each of these macronutrients have very important purposes in our body. Protein is going to be like the building blocks of muscle. So basically, if you're wanting to gain muscle, or get lean or whatever, you're going to have to build muscle, and that's going to be impossible if you don't have sufficient amounts of protein to support your goals. This is where the problem comes in. If you've ever tried in the past just to count calories only and not break it down to macronutrients, then you're going to see the problem. So let's say you're given 2,000 calories to eat each day. Well, if you're only tracking your calories, then in that 2,000 calories might only be 100 grams of protein, or it might be 200 grams of protein. This is why I think that calorie counting is simply not good enough. When you break it down to tracking macros, you make sure that you're getting a sufficient amount of protein, you make sure you're getting a sufficient amount of carbs, and a sufficient amount of fat. The good thing is that this is all made very, very easy with today's technology. Basically, all you have to do today is download an app like MyFitnessPal, which is, again, what I recommend and what I use. Let's just say that I want to track that I ate 3 eggs. So I would grab the carton of eggs, and then you simply scan the barcode. There's a barcode scanner on the app. You just scan the carton of eggs and put the number of eggs that you had, and you're done. So basically you do this throughout the day, and at the end of the day it gives you the exact amount of fats, carbs, proteins, calories that you've had throughout the day. So in this application, you can actually go in there and set your goals as well. So let's say that you're wanting to lose a pound a week. It'll kind of give you an estimation of where you want to be. But again, when you're considering working out and all that stuff, I still think it's better to go to somebody who's educated in giving these kind of estimations. The good thing is that it doesn't have to be a dietitian. You can go to a personal trainer who's got a good, solid understanding of nutrition, and we can write these macros up for you. We can write your calorie goals up for you. And as you continue to make progress, we can make those changes as we go. Another side note here is I want to explain that every macronutrient has its purpose in your body. Remember I said that earlier? Well, it's very true. So any diet that completely restricts a certain macronutrient is something that you probably should not do. Very extreme approaches like the keto diet is not ideal, especially considering that the main source of energy in your body and your brain is carbohydrate. And again, given that every single one of those macronutrients or macros has a very important role in your body, it's probably not ideal to cut one of those completely out. You couldn't tell already, I'm not an advocate for the keto diet. And I gotta say the same thing about super low fat diets, because obviously too low of fat, your body does not get the proper amount of macronutrients to support all of its daily function, which is bad for organ health and a lot of bad things. So just like very low carbs is bad, very low fat is bad. The important thing is that you need to find an educated source that is providing the information for you and will lead you in the right direction, which is the whole purpose of this channel. For example, if you see on Facebook that somebody has lost all this weight magically, like let's say Jill lost all this weight and she's just happy as can be, DM me if you want to know more details. I'm telling you, they're sucking you into a hole and they're not actually trying to benefit you. They're trying to sell you on something so that they can make money off of you. That's how it works. I'm just telling you, if you have a friend on Facebook who is saying that they want you to DM them for more details and they're not just like throwing the name of the product out there, if the product worked for them, then why wouldn't they want everybody on their newsfeed to know what the product was? It's because when you DM them, they're going to give you the name of some brand that is very commonly known for trying to sell you something. They want to get on a call with you. They want to call you up. Hey Jill, I saw that you lost 20 pounds. I was just wanting to get more information about what you were doing and what you were using. I would love to give you more details. First off, let me tell you all about my pyramid scheme, and from there we can talk about my success. It's usually bullcrap. Also, just because something is a Netflix documentary, I'm not going to name any names, but there's plenty of them. Just because it's on Netflix does not mean that it's real. The information in those Netflix documentaries, they're just wrong. They're so wrong. Again, there's just a lot of incorrect information, and I'm not going to ramble on because I could go about this all day long. But anyways, I just wanted to give you guys a solid understanding of calories, how they're broken down into macronutrients, and exactly where those calories come from in food. Give you a better understanding of why maybe some of these calories are sneaking up on you, like you're eating higher fat foods, then that's probably the culprit of why, if you're tracking your macros, why these calories are just kind of sneaking in there and you don't know exactly where they're coming from. Anyways, guys, I hope that this gives you a better understanding of all that stuff. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Feel free to share and watch out for the next video. Until then, I will see you guys in the next one.